The Red Sands of Home, a Mars Colony Tale. Chapter 1. The Last Seed. Dr. Amelia Reeves stared at the small, green sprout pushing through the rusty Martian soil. It was barely 2 centimeters tall, but it represented humanity's last hope on the red planet. She gently touched its delicate leaves, her gloved hand trembling slightly. "Come on, little one," she whispered. "You can do it." The tiny plant was the last viable seed from Earth, the final remnant of a shipment meant to establish sustainable agriculture in the Mars colony. But a series of disasters had left Harmony Base, humanity's first and only Mars settlement, on the brink of collapse. Amelia's comm device crackled to life. "Dr. Reeves, please report to the command center immediately," she sighed, taking one last look at the fragile sprout before sealing the biodome. As she made her way through the winding corridors of Harmony Base, she couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had been her constant companion for weeks. In the command center, Colony Director Chinwei paced back and forth, his usually calm demeanor replaced by visible anxiety. Chief Engineer Yuki Tanaka sat at her station, furiously typing on her console. "Amelia, we have a situation," Chin said as soon as she entered. "The last oxygen recycler is failing. Yuki estimates we have less than 72 hours before it shuts down completely." Amelia felt her heart sink. "What about the backup systems?" Yuki shook her head. "We've cannibalized them all to keep this one running. There's nothing left." "And Earth?" Amelia asked, already knowing the answer. Chin's expression hardened. "Still silent. We haven't received any communications for over a month now." The unspoken truth hung heavy in the air. Something catastrophic must have happened back on Earth, leaving the 50 colonists of Harmony Base truly alone, 140 million miles from home. "So what do we do?" Amelia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Chin took a deep breath. "We have one option left. Project Phoenix." Chapter 2. The Last Resort. Amelia's eyes widened. "Project Phoenix? But it's not ready. We haven't even begun human trials." Project Phoenix was Harmony Base's absolute last resort, a risky procedure that would place colonists in a state of suspended animation, drastically reducing their need for oxygen and other resources. It was meant to be a way to survive long-term disasters, but it had never been tested on humans. "We don't have a choice," Chin said grimly. "It's either this, or we all suffocate in 3 days." Yuki spoke up, her voice strained. "I've run the numbers. If we put 45 colonists into suspended animation, the remaining oxygen should last the other 5 of us about 6 months. Maybe enough time to fix the recycler or for help to come." The weight of the decision pressed down on them all. Who would stay awake? Who would take the risk of entering untested suspended animation? "I'll stay awake," Amelia said firmly. "The plants need constant care if we have any hope of establishing a sustainable food source." Chun nodded. "Agreed." "Yuki, you'll need to stay awake to work on the recycler. I'll stay up to coordinate our efforts. We'll need a medical officer. Dr. Patel should stay awake. And for security, Captain Rivera." The next few hours were a flurry of activity. The colonists were informed of the dire situation and the desperate plan. There were tears, arguments, and eventually, resigned acceptance. Amelia helped prep the suspended animation pods, her heart heavy as she watched her friends and colleagues step inside, one by one. Sarah, the geologist who always had a joke ready. Kenji, the quiet botanist who had been her right-hand man in the biodome. Little Zoe, the first child born on Mars, clutching her teddy bear as she was placed in a pod with her parents. As the last pod sealed shut, Amelia turned to Chen. "What if this doesn't work? What if we can't wake them up?" Chen placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we make sure their sacrifice wasn't in vain. We find a way to survive, to make Mars livable. It's what they would want." Amelia nodded, blinking back tears. As she made her way back to the biodome, she silently vowed to keep that little green sprout alive, no matter what. It wasn't just a plant anymore. It was the embodiment of hope for all of them. Chapter 3, Red Dawn. The next 6 months were the hardest of Amelia's life. Every day was a struggle to survive, to maintain the failing systems of Harmony Base, and to nurture the precious plants in the biodome. The little sprout had grown into a sturdy plant, and from its seeds, Amelia had managed to cultivate a small garden. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Each new leaf felt like a tiny victory against the harsh Martian environment. Yuki worked tirelessly on the oxygen recycler, cannibalizing every non-essential system in the base. Dr. Patel monitored the health of those in suspended animation, while Captain Rivera maintained their defenses and kept watch for any sign of communication from Earth. Chen coordinated their efforts, but Amelia could see the toll it was taking on him. The responsibility of 50 lives weighed heavily on his shoulders. It was on the 180th day when everything changed. Amelia was in the biodome, carefully pollinating her plants by hand, when she heard it, a sound she hadn't heard in months, the proximity alarm. She rushed to the command center, her heart pounding. The others were already there, staring at the main screen in disbelief. "It's a ship," Yuki said, her voice filled with awe. "An Earth ship, but it's not like anything I've ever seen before." The ship that appeared on their sensors was massive, easily 10 times the size of the vessel that had originally brought them to Mars. Its design was sleek, almost organic, with solar sails that shimmered like gossamer wings. "Are they responding to our hails?" Chun asked, his knuckles white as he gripped the edge of the console. Captain Rivera shook her head. "No, sir, but they're definitely heading straight for us." As the ship drew closer, they could make out markings on its hull. Amelia squinted at the screen, trying to decipher the unfamiliar script. Suddenly, it shifted, the alien characters rearranging themselves before her eyes to form words she could understand. "Humanity's Ark, Phoenix Initiative." A chill ran down Amelia's spine. Phoenix Initiative? Like our Project Phoenix? Before anyone could respond, the communication system crackled to life. A voice, calm and clear, filled the command center. "Harmony Base, this is Captain Yara Okafor of the Starship Phoenix. We come from Earth, bearing news and a choice that will determine the future of humanity. Prepare for our arrival. A new era begins today." Chapter 4, Echoes of Earth. The next few hours were a blur of activity. As the massive ship, Phoenix, settled into orbit around Mars, Captain Okafor and a small team shuttled down to Harmony Base. The airlocks hissed open, and for the first time in over 2 years, the colonists came face to face with people from Earth. Captain Okafor was a tall, statuesque woman with deep brown skin and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages. Her team consisted of 2 scientists and a doctor, all wearing sleek uniforms unlike anything Amelia had seen before. After a tense but warm greeting, they gathered in the command center. Captain Okafor's expression was grave as she began to speak. "First, let me commend you all on your incredible resilience," she said. "What you've achieved here, against all odds, is nothing short of miraculous. But now, I must share with you the reason for our long silence and the purpose of our mission." She took a deep breath. 3 years ago, shortly after we lost contact with you, Earth faced an extinction-level event. A gamma ray burst from a nearby star, sterilized much of the planet's surface. Billions perished in a matter of days. Amelia felt her knees go weak. Chun steadied her, his own face ashen with shock. Captain Okafor continued, "Those of us who survived did so in deep underground bunkers. But Earth is no longer habitable. Not for a very, very long time." The revelation hit them like a physical blow. Earth, their home, the blue jewel they had gazed at longingly for so many nights, gone. "But humanity survives," Okafor said, her voice strengthening. "We've spent the last 3 years building the Phoenix and others like her. Massive arc ships, designed to carry the remnants of our species to new homes among the stars. And now, we've come for you." She looked each of them in the eye. "You have a choice. You can join us on our journey to the stars to find a new home for humanity. Or you can stay here on Mars to continue the work you've started, terraforming this planet into a new Earth. Both paths are vital for our species' survival. Both are fraught with danger and uncertainty. The choice is yours. The command center erupted into a cacophony of voices. Questions, exclamations, and cries of disbelief filled the air. Amelia, however, remained silent, her mind reeling from the magnitude of what they'd just learned. Chapter 5: Seeds of the Future. In the days that followed, the colonists of Harmony Base grappled with the monumental decision before them. They awoke their comrades from suspended animation, sharing the heart-wrenching news and the choice they all had to make. Amelia spent hours in the biodome, tending to her plants, finding solace in their quiet growth amidst the emotional turmoil. It was there, surrounded by the green life she had nurtured on this red planet, that she made her decision. When the time came for each colonist to declare their choice, Amelia stepped forward. "I'm staying," she said, her voice firm. "Mars is our home now. The work we've done here, the roots we've put down, both literally and figuratively, it matters. We've proven that life can flourish here. Given time, we can transform this entire planet, create a new Earth, right here." Her words seemed to resonate with many. In the end, 35 colonists, including Chien, Yuki, and Dr. Patel, chose to remain on Mars. The other 15, longing for green hills and blue skies, decided to join the Phoenix on its journey to the stars. As the day of departure approached, Captain Okafor worked with the colonists who were staying, providing them with advanced technology and knowledge. To aid in their terraforming efforts, the Phoenix's fabricators created new oxygen recyclers, more efficient solar panels, and other crucial equipment that would give Harmony Base a fighting chance. On the final day, Amelia stood at the airlock, saying goodbye to those who had chosen to leave. There were tears, hugs, and promises to never forget each other. Little Zoe, now awake and understanding more than a child her age should, tugged at Amelia's sleeve. "Will you take care of my plants, Dr. Reeves? I planted some flowers in the biodome." Amelia knelt down, smiling through her tears. "Of course, sweetheart. They'll bloom beautifully, I promise. And someday, when you find your new home among the stars, you can tell everyone about the flowers that grow on Mars." As the shuttle took off, carrying their friends to the Phoenix and the uncertainties that lay beyond, Amelia and the remaining colonists watched from the observation dome. The massive starship gleamed in the sunlight, a testament to human ingenuity and the will to survive. Chun stood beside Amelia, his eyes fixed on the departing ship. "Do you think we made the right choice?" he asked softly. Amelia took a moment before responding. "I don't think there was a right or wrong choice," she said. "Just different paths toward the same goal, ensuring humanity's survival. They'll carry our legacy to the stars, and we'll build a new world here. Together, we're writing the next chapter of human history." As the Phoenix disappeared into the depths of space, Amelia turned her gaze to the red landscape outside. The task ahead was monumental, but looking at the faces of determination around her, she felt a surge of hope. "Come on," she said, straightening her shoulders. "We've got work to do. Mars isn't going to terraform itself." As they walked back into the heart of Harmony Base, Amelia allowed herself a small smile. In the biodome, countless green sprouts were pushing through the red soil, seeds of the future taking root in their new home. The red sands of Mars were where humanity would make its stand, and where hope would bloom in the face of unimaginable adversity. The journey ahead would be long and challenging, but they were ready. After all, they were no longer just colonists or scientists. They were the first Martians, the seeders of a new world, the guardians of humanity's future on the red planet. And together, they would turn this alien world into a place they could truly call home.